You're watching Swipe, and here's what we've got for you on this week's show. Thomas gets some high-tech Top Gun training. I get green-fingered with an internet-connected way to grow your own indoors. And Mario Kart's arrived on the Nintendo Switch, but what does our games reviewer think of it? We begin this week with a Swipe exclusive. We've been given access to a new high-tech facility that's going to be used to help train the next generation of fighter pilots. It includes a flight simulator designed in collaboration with a company you'd normally associate with Formula One. And Thomas has been trying it out.
Defence is an expensive venture, whether it's building the latest fighter jets or training their pilots. At BAE Systems' new training facility near Preston, they've been developing solutions to allow engineers, aircrew and their customers to get as close to the final product without shelling out too much cash.
Sandpit is the play pit for the future.
Mark Bowman has had over 3 decades of flying experience and has been integral in making these teaching environments as close to the real world as possible.
We can use devices like this coupled with the very sort of extensive control room we have behind to train not only the pilots, the test pilots, but also the test engineers as well, to really maximise the amount of time we have available and also reduce the cost, but at the same time increase the productivity of what simulators like this can do for us.
As classrooms go, this is a pretty impressive classroom. It does feel like you're completely immersed in whatever field that you might be in. Is that integral to teaching the next generation of pilots?
Well, definitely. The use of simulators now has increased enormously. Where warfare today is all about interconnectivity, this ability to be interoperable means that we can use simulators like this, even connected to real aircraft that are flying, and therefore get even more impact over the training that we need to impart for tomorrow's warfighter.
Built in conjunction with Williams F1, this particular simulator brings together 2 major British engineering companies.
Collaboration with the UK and supporting British industry obviously keeps us as a defence company right at the cutting edge, but also together with everybody else really keeps the company and the country at that cutting edge as well.
Feet both firmly back on the ground, we're still never that far from a cockpit. Off-the-shelf virtual reality products, developed more for video gaming than high-end defence technology, place users in a real-world environment.
My entire room has just changed and I'm looking over a bunch of mountains and I'm stood next to a typhoon. If you're wanting to be able to see an aircraft and work with an aircraft without having to get out onto the airfield, that's what this is used for, Mark.
Yeah, well, I mean, the maintenance, we can teach this for maintenance for whether it be for aircrew learning how to do the walk-around checks or whether it's actually how to do engineering on the aircraft itself.
With this tech, the hope is to prepare the next generation of fighters and engineers in classrooms of the future. Thomas Newton, Sky News.
Stay with us. Still to come, I'll be getting a look at a way to grow vegetables that's apparently 3 times quicker than growing them in your garden. It's coming right up after a roundup of this week's tech news. This video of a kind of flying car showed up on YouTube. The American Kitty Hawk Flyer is said to be all-electric and designed specifically for travelling over water. The company says it's legal in the US, you don't need a pilot's licence and can learn to fly it in minutes. Waymo, formerly known as the Google self-driving car project, is letting the public test out its vehicles. It's begun taking applications from residents in the Phoenix area to be part of its early rider program so they can give feedback on the technology. And researchers in Australia working on ingestible smart pills to help diagnose gut disorders and colon cancer say they've successfully completed the first phase of trials on humans. The capsules can link up to your smartphone while they travel through the gastrointestinal tract, measuring gas levels. It's claimed the pills could identify some gut illnesses that otherwise have no diagnostic tools.
The bass can and kick it.
Stick around for our games review in just a few minutes. We've got this music-based action shooter, but before that... Now, we're all familiar with internet-connected devices at home, but how about net-connected fruit and veg growing without soil in your kitchen or living room? Take a look at this.
CityCrop is a mini vertical farm where you can grow your own fresh and healthy food at home using your smartphone.
How would I use my smartphone?
Through a very simple process. You select the plant, and then you put it inside the device, and then you put start, and the experience begins.
The plants, in this case herbs, grow using hydroponics, a method whereby nutrients and water are fed directly to the roots without the need for soil. There's no soil at all?
No, only water.
So what have we got inside each pot?
You can see here, you can put the water inside here, and then you can put the nutrients from here.
Low maintenance is one of the selling points. Every says once you've told the app on your phone which seeds you've placed in the device, it only needs tending to once a month. Artificial intelligence does the rest.
Because of the algorithms and the nutrient formulas that we use, you can grow 3 times faster than in your garden.
This is just a prototype, aimed at wannabe gardeners or fresh produce lovers restricted by city living. But devices are due to start reaching customers later this year. And if you're wondering how much internet-connected indoor farming will set you back...
For both units, it's £999. £999 for both units. Or you can only have the main device, which is £650.
Do you really think someone would pay £999 when they could just buy these in a local supermarket fresh?
I believe, yeah, because more and more people are interested in changing their diet because they are worried about where their food has come from, how fresh it is. It's pesticide-free. We use 60% less fertilizer, no GMOs.
I think the taste test has to be the ultimate test, though. How long did it take to grow these?
Month.
That is actually quite nice. That does just...
Less than a month, yeah, this one is.
But how can it grow 3 times as fast and taste the same?
The roots take all the nutrients and all the food that they need, and they grow faster because the system works 24/7 all year round. So
right. I'm going to have a bit more of this. Yeah. Thanks, Every. I'm going to shut the glass so they can continue growing. Video games time now, and this week saw the release of the next big Nintendo Switch game, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. So what does our reviewer think of it? Here's Emma with her thoughts on that and a couple of other new releases.
So, Mario Kart 8 is a game that we've seen released before on Wii U, but this time it's been given a bit of a gussy up and it's been re-released for the Nintendo Switch. This time around it's called Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and on the Nintendo Switch you're going to get extra levels and more DLC content. This time around the game's actually been slightly improved, and the battle levels have better maps that better suit the gameplay that you're going to be having. There's also new accessibility features called Smart Steer and Auto Accelerate. This means it really is, more than ever, a game for the entire family. If you've been looking to expand your Nintendo Switch library beyond Zelda and test out the console's multiplayer features, then Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is pretty much the perfect way to go. When it comes to retro arcade-style games, it's pretty hard to stand out from the crowd, but as the unholy love child of Res and Amplitude, Aaero is a game that manages to do just that.
The bass can kick it.
This is an on-the-rails shooter crossed with a rhythm game, and while your left hand is controlling a spaceship, your right hand is dispatching enemies. Now, this might sound like fairly simple mechanics, but when you throw them together simultaneously, and throw in the requirement that you have to keep up with a thumping techno soundtrack, it starts to feel a little bit like you're patting your head while you're rubbing your belly. It's a great palate cleansing game if you just want to break up the longer things that you've got in your gaming library. If you took the game Little Big Planet and you slapped a surreal horror filter over it, you'll probably end up with something like our next game, Little Nightmares. The game is a 3D platformer and you play as a young girl called Six. It's your job to guide Six through this labyrinthine world filled with grotesque creatures and things that are much too large for her. Playing as Six, you're armed with nothing but a lighter and lightness of foot, so it's up to you to cleverly use the environment around you to solve puzzles and hide from the grotesque creatures trying to hunt you down in order to escape. It's not easy, and you'll die a lot through this game, and if that's something that frustrates you, it might put you off. But if you're patient and willing to learn the game's logic, it can be very rewarding. Little Nightmares is a refreshing take on the horror genre, and you'll find yourself playing the entire thing with bated, if not completely held breath.
Well, that's it for this week's Swipe. But don't forget you can watch any of our episodes on demand in all the usual places. And why not follow us on Twitter at Sky News Swipe. Then you can see what we get up to throughout the week. I'll be back next time and I hope you can join us then. Bye-bye.